Hi everyone, my name's Nicole and welcome back to Thistle and Thread. I am so excited that you guys are here today with me because I am filming one of my absolute favorite videos to watch, and I've never officially filmed one yet, and that is a mid-year WIP parade. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've never actually laid out all of my WIPs and kind of, taken note of everything I've got going on. But it's quite exciting, and it's getting me excited about some projects that have been in a little bit of timeout. So it's going to be really fun. And I know that these videos will a lot of the times bring in new viewers to channels because everyone's curious what everyone else is working on. And I just wanted to take the time to introduce myself really quick. So like I said, my name is Nicole. I'm a 28-year-old registered dietitian that is living on a lake in a tiny town in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York. And I live with my husband and my family in a big multi-generational home. We absolutely love living this way. And we're very much into gardening and homesteading, but on my little crafty corner of the internet, I talk about all the fun little crafty goodies I'm getting my hands on. It's been primarily cross-stitch, but as you can see, I'm very much a fiber arts lover. So I do talk about a lot of the things I'm crocheting as well. And it's something I definitely want to incorporate more of in the future as I get my hands on more projects. But as far as the things and patterns and projects that I've loved stitching, I am very much a seasonal stitcher, but there is an exception. Anything Halloween, spooky, or witchy is an all year round thing. Those things are like a lifestyle to me. So it's something I'm always in the mood to stitch. It doesn't need to be September through October, November for me. That's an all year thing. And I also very much love, I call it whimsy stitching. Anything, if a project or pattern looks like it could be found in a children's storybook, that's very much up my alley. So if it has animals wearing clothes or anything that's fantastical or very nature inspired, give it to me, give it here, because that's right up my alley. And you're definitely gonna see that correlation in the projects that I'm gonna be showing you guys today. Now, as for my order of projects in today's video, I didn't put them in any specific order, but I did try to lump my stitch alongs together and also my Halloween spooky patterns together, just so it's, a little bit easier to discuss. And also, I don't have any specific information of exact dates of when I started things because I honestly just haven't kept track of that information since I've started cross stitching. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited. Let's just get into it because I don't want this video to be terribly long. I know we're all busy people, but this is gonna be a really fun one. So, put your seatbelts on, strap in, because it's gonna be a fun ride, especially for me. So I wrote down all the projects that I have. I have 17 WIPs, which does include 2 Mill Hill kits. So I'm gonna start out with my first, I believe this was my first ever cross stitch pattern, and it's still not done. And this design, I'll put a picture of it here because I don't have the actual cover photo of it. This is from Mama Witch Cross Stitch or X Stitch on Etsy, and this is George Ate It All, and he is just the cutest little strawberry shortcake frog, and I absolutely love her as a designer. I've been following her for years, I feel, because at first I was into embroidery, and then I got into fiber art, so I never tried cross stitch at that point, but when I saw this pattern on her Instagram, I about nearly died. I was I need him immediately. And that's little George, cutie little strawberry shortcake frog. And this is everything that I've done so far. I'm literally on the last portion. I am so close to being done, but I did end up, I think I messed up 2 rows or something like that. And I need to frog it, which is very fitting because he's a cutie little frog. But I love this. I mean, I was very ambitious for going for my first cross stitch pattern as basically a full coverage and on Black Ada, but he was just so cute. So as I said, I got, actually I don't think I mentioned this yet, got all of the materials from Michael's for this project. Again, this was my first cross stitch project, so I really wasn't like, I really didn't know much. I just kind of bought the necessary things that the pattern said. So I got a Black Ada, and I believe it's 14 count. Honestly, I can't really remember, but I think it's 14 count. And everything's just from Michael's, all the called for DMC. Bought the PDF, printed it out, and I started going. And he is just so cute. I really just need to frog out these last 2 rows that I did. I believe this is like the last page of the pattern, and it's just so close to being done. I'm so close. And he's just so cute. I did stitch this 3/1, I believe is how you would say it for Ada. I used 3 strands over like 1 block of Ada. Is that what you say? I don't know. I don't really stitch on Ada as much anymore because I'm a linen girl through and through. But yeah, he's so cute. And I have been like honestly going through Mama Witch X Stitches Etsy as of late, and I'm very much inspired to start another one of her projects because they are just so beautiful. I was a member of her Patreon for a while, and it's just everything she creates is literal pure magic. Like, she is truly the cross stitch witch and you can just see it through all her patterns. There's no other designer that designs like this. Just everything is so magical. So I love my cutie little George, and I need to finish him like immediately, because that project I believe I started in, I don't know, probably October or November of last year. That's when I like first officially started cross stitching. So yeah, he needs to be done so he can have a cutie little spot in my craft room. So the next whip I have is another really fun project from a designer, and this one is Swamp Magic by Flossy Fox Shop. And how I would describe Flossy Fox Shop as a designer is it's very much nostalgic, like 2000s video game style. It's very much like Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing. It's just very like graphic and dreamy. And when I saw this pattern, I knew I wanted to have this up on my wall in my room, like right next to my window that like overlooks the lake. I just thought it would be so much fun. So this is all the progress that I've had so far. So I'm doing this on a 32 count mystery fabric. It's a linen, but I don't remember the specific details of it. And I know the dimensions of this pattern is 118 by 127. And no, I'm sorry, I did not iron my linen. I did not iron before this, but I hope that's okay. And I have a good amount of progress. I mean, I still have a lot to go, but this is a really fun start. This project is so much fun. The only thing that's a little bit tricky about this project is there's so much color change. So if color change isn't really your thing, maybe these patterns aren't the best for you, but it just adds so much dimension and detail to the project that it's so easy to overlook. Like, it's just so much fun. I have this cutie little dragon and this really fun like pink and blue house, and I started a bit on the flora and fauna, and I was so excited about this. There's like 2 cute little mallard ducks, you know, just hanging out in a little pond. So I did complete one of the mallards, and I'm starting to work on the other, and there is a cutie little crab right here, and it's just so fun and magical. Like, I have no other projects going that are like this, and I just truly think everything that Flossy Fox creates is amazing and highly recommend it. And like me myself, I'm not someone that is like very much into super bright neon colors. It's not really my aesthetic, but because I paired this on a like naturally linen, I think it's nice and I think it's really fun, and it's something totally different and out of my comfort zone, and I'm really enjoying it. So that is Swamp Magic by Flossy Fox Shop. And this, I just have like a lot of fun memories associated to this because I've watched just like a lot of really good movies with my family on Saturday nights while I've stitched this. So that's Flossy Fox Shop, Swamp Magic. All of my needle minders that you'll see today, they're from, I believe every single one is from Mad for Minders on Etsy. She is my absolute favorite needle minders in the world. And they're just super duper affordable. I think they're like $4 to $6. This one says Kitchen Witch, which obviously I'm a dietitian, so I had to get Kitchen Witch. So cute. I love the acrylic needle minders. They're definitely my favorite, but she does have wood ones as well, which I do have a couple of the wood ones. Okay. Next on my list is, oh, I love this one. This was one of my favorite releases from the Nashville Needlework Market for this year. And this is a design from Blueberry Ridge, and this is Hazel's Blackberry Burrow. When I saw this cutie mouse that lives in a teapot, I just had to have it. Everything about this pattern is pure perfection, and it was an immediate purchase for me. Absolute immediate purchase. This is the progress that I have so far. I don't have a ton. I've only worked on this for a couple days. Let's try to flatten it out a bit. And that's this. It's so cute. I love it so much. So I have basically the outline of the teapot, and I started to work like the little motifs on the bottom. And I've got some of the tree getting worked up. But that's basically it. I didn't get to the mouse yet, which I'm like most excited, I think, about getting to Hazel, because Hazel's just so precious. I'm using all the called for floss, which is a mix between Weeks and Gentle Arts, I believe. So all fancy flosses, which really just elevate this pattern to a whole new level, because I love working with like variegated over dyed floss. And I'm doing this on, I'm not doing the called for. I think the called for is a 36 count, one more reproduction by Be Stitch Me, but I'm doing this on a 36 count Doubloon Edinburgh linen, which is very similar. I got it from 123 Stitch. It's like in the recommended fabric section for this pattern, and it's just so pretty. It is so absolutely stunning. And the stitch count on this pattern is 163 by 100. And I've seen some absolutely stunning finishes of this, and I'm so excited to get this up on my wall and be done, because it's so cute. Like when we talk about whimsy stitching and storybook stitching, this is like literally the epitome of that. I couldn't find anything more whimsy and magical than this pattern. And just like the colors are so unbelievable. The color palette is just like perfection. And I love her cute little boots. Like I could just spend so much time talking about it because it is just adorable. Definitely one of my favorite patterns that came out of market this year. And if it's calling to you, you got to answer that call, baby, and you got to get it because it is just so cute. My next whip very much goes along with my vibe. Is from Stacey Nash, and this is from the Animal Crackers series. Cutie Miss Maggie May. She's very popular. She was like extremely popular around Easter time, and I love her. I am such a big fan of the Animal Crackers. I own Maggie May and I own Bobbin, which Bobbin is so cute as well, but she's the first Animal Cracker that I've started stitching, and I love her. I absolutely love her. And I could really finish her very quick if I just sat down and did it. But let's see. So I'm doing this. This is the progress I have so far. Look how cute her little button nose is. I just want to go like boop, boop. She's so cute. Oh, I love her so much, and I love all the floss that goes with this. This is using, I believe, this is all Weeks Dye Works, and they are just stunning, absolutely stunning. And let's see, I'm doing this on, I'm not doing the called for. I'm using 36 count flax Edinburgh linen, and the stitch count of this is 55 by 116. And she's just so cute. I actually started Yippeeee as a little tribute piece to my grandmother who's passed, that I was extremely, extremely close with, because her dog's name was Maggie May. And we also sold her house this year. So on the last day that I was able to go into her house and, you know, like say goodbye to it, I started this as like a little remembrance piece for that and for her. So I'm loving her. I haven't like stitched on her in a while because I did do a little bit of a mess up in her little jacket. So I wanted to like work on the other side and see if I can kind of just like fudge this cardigan a bit, which I definitely can. I'm trying to work through my perfectionism in my stitching and just kind of be okay with winging things, and because I absolutely hate frogging. I hate taking the time to frog something. I just hate it. And I honestly find like Weeks Dye Works threads to be really difficult to frog. They like fray really easily. I don't know. It's just like really hard to save the thread that you're like picking out. So yeah, I know I'm going to probably just like fudge the sweater a little bit, and that's okay. It makes it, I remind myself that something handmade, what makes it handmade and what makes it unique is the flaws that it has. Who wants something that's absolutely perfect? Not me. I want something unique. And my Maggie May is not going to be like any other Maggie May because of that. So I'm gonna move past it, and definitely work on her, because she's just so cute with her little button nose and her little rosy cheeks. Very, very much into the animal crackers. I know if my grandma was here, she would absolutely love Maggie May, but I definitely want to stitch a bunch of them. Like I said, I do have Bobbin. I also did purchase Lily, which is that cutie little frog. She was another market release, and I'm just waiting on bated breath, waiting for Stacey Nash to release Henny Penny, because I'm a chicken girl, and I think Henny Penny was like a retreat release for one of the retreats, and I believe she might be releasing her in July, because I left a comment and Stacey Nash replied back that like, wait for July, we'll see what happens. So crossing my fingers for Henny Penny, but right now I've got Maggie May to keep me company. And I'm only trying to actively work on one at a time. We'll see. We'll see, because she's fun. So my next project I have going, I was doing this as a stitch along with my friend Stephanie, who is, I believe her Instagram name is Stitchy_Steph95. I forget. I'll link her down below. I'll write it here. Go check her out. Go follow her. I love her. She's amazing. She does not have a Flosstube channel, but she does have a Stitchy Instagram, which is just as fun. And this is, the pattern we're working on is Ducks in a Bow by Sprouting Lupine, which I love everything from Sprouting Lupine. She has all of the most like magical nature inspired patterns that you could ever want or need. And when I saw that Sprouting Lupine released these patterns, I was like, it's a duck, say less. And me and Stephanie decided we were going to do the singular duck pattern. So that is what we did. And Stephanie actually finished hers. So she's already done with the stitch along, and I'm still, you know, chugging along. So this is the progress that I have so far. I'm doing this on a 28 count Riviera Aqua linen. I have never worked on a 28 count before, I don't think. So this weave is very large. If you're new to linen, I would highly recommend a 28 count because it's very easy to see. So I'm loving this cutie little duck. I absolutely love ducks. Anything with a duck in a pattern is just like so cottage core and adorable to me. I've finished other duck patterns in the past. I've shown them in my past videos, and my dream would one day to like maybe be to have like a duck cross stitch wall. I just think that would be so fun. And this one's perfect for that. I love it. It's so whimsy and adorable. I completely finished the singular runner duck. I did change the color of its cutie bow. The bow was supposed to be a blue color, but since I'm doing it on a blue linen, I just exchanged it for one of the light purple colors that is already called for in this pattern, and it works just beautifully. And this is the bigger of the flowers in the pattern, and I'm almost done with this. And this was a pattern that I was like very much actively working on while I watched Love Island at night. And because I'm mostly paying attention to Love Island, I have messed this puppy up a bajillion times and I've picked it out like 1,000 times. And yeah, I had a love-hate relationship with it. It's important to read and pay attention to what you're stitching. So yeah, this one is like very much like, it goes back and forth between being in timeout. It's good to have a friend to keep you accountable, because Steph would be like, she would text me and be like, oh, I got some work done today. And I'm like, you're inspiring me to work on mine. And now she's done and I need to finish mine because I need it for my duck wall. It's so cute. It's so cute. So I do have one more flower that's going to go here. But again, it's smaller than this one. So I'm very much close to being done. And it will be completed this year. I will finish it. So that's Ducks in a Bow by Sprouting Lupine. And again, when you purchase this pattern, you do get 2 patterns. You get one with a singular duck and one with 3 ducks in a little row. So this one's very much fun. I don't know if I said the stitch count, but the stitch count for this singular duck pattern specifically is 63 by 42. So really not that big at all. Very easy to complete if you just sit down and stitch it, baby. But you know, when you have a million other patterns going on, it's easy to get sidetracked, and that's okay. The next pattern I have on my list, so WIP number 6 that we're going to be talking about today, is one of my ultimate comfort stitches. I talk about this in almost every one of my Flosstube videos because whenever I'm feeling like a little bit unmotivated or burnt out from stitching, I always work on this one because it's just my ultimate comfort stitch. And this is Il mio Rifugio Segreto by Cuore e Batticuore. I just absolutely love this pattern. This is me in a pattern. It is just a cutie little alpine girl with her cow, and I just love it. This pattern's just so easy not to get bored with because there's so much going on. There's so many different aspects and areas of things that you can be stitching. So sometimes I'll like work on the fill-in of her dress, or I'll work on the cuckoo clock, or like I've been working on this top part. So it's just really, really fun. I love this designer. Cuore e Batticuore have some of my absolute favorite patterns. I own a lot of them. And I do have, a lot of her patterns are stitched on 32 count Belfast linen, which is what I'm stitching it on. So I do have like I have a stash of this linen basically, because there's a lot of them, a lot of these projects that I want to be working on. But I'm actively working on finishing this one before I start another. But you know, I've been feeling that itch to start like a bunch of new things, so we'll see. But this is all the progress that I have done on this. I'll fold it up and show you each individual piece, but I thought it would be nice to just show you like a full a full view. So, all right, let's fold this up a little bit. It's kind of harder to show these bigger pieces. So this was the corner that I started with first. It's like the little mountain sign. I still have to do all the fill-in on that, but I did do all the hanging motifs. And then I went to the words, which I absolutely love stitching words. It's one of my favorite things. It just moves so fast. I never get bored. I really very much enjoy it. And I have basically almost all of the stitching on the little alpine girl. I've been trying to focus more on like fill in while I'm watching a TV show I'm very much like into, which currently it has been Love Island. So I've been actively working on her dress and filling that in, and I'm almost done. She's almost come to full fruition, and she's beautiful and stunning, and I love her. And I did work a little bit on the grass. I got her little gardening utensil. I forget what those are called. And the cutie cow's face is, you know, working up beautifully. And as far as the top, I have put in a lot of time into this little top section, which I didn't really have before. And yeah, the cuckoo clock's almost, I don't know, I would say it's at least 50% of the way done. I do have to like add a couple of motifs and details and then do fill in, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And then this top part, which I was so excited to do. I was like mostly excited to do this little blueberry jam jar. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. I am still missing its little like leaves it has going on here and the little tie, but I'm getting the little mushroom basket going. And it looks so good. Again, these patterns for me are just ultimate comfort stitches. And if you really like the overall shape and like aesthetic and design of this, definitely check out Cuore e Batticuore, because she has so many patterns that are very similar to this but different theming. My personal favorite one, other than this one, is she has like a gardening one with the cutest little gardening girl, and it has like chickens and vegetables, and I'm just like dying to stitch that. She also has like a spooky witch one and like a craft room one. It's, of course I have them all, but I love her patterns, and this one is definitely one of my absolute favorite things I've ever worked on, and I cannot wait to have this done. And I'm gonna need to get a cuckoo clock to hang this near. I'm like a big Disney person. I go to the Disney parks at least once a year, and I actually got married at Disney like this past December, so December of 2024. And if you've ever been, you'll know in like the World Showcase in Epcot in Germany specifically, they sell cuckoo clocks, and I might have to get one. My husband and I were eyeing them last time when we were there on our wedding trip, but I think we might have to bring one back now. If I have like a specific cuckoo clock, like little alpine pattern, I just think it would look so cute next to it. Now, perfect segue into my next whip. So like I said, I am a total Disney adult. I love everything about the Disney parks and the movies. I do really enjoy the movies, but I am more of like a Disney parks person. And my favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast. And I even had like a lot of Beauty and the Beast inspired like elements in my wedding when I got married there this past December. And like I walked down the aisle to Tale as Old as Time, and a lot of like my floral decor was very much had the essence of like Beauty and the Beast. So I really wanted something Disney related to stitch on, and I found this pattern. This pattern is called Belle by Lovely Pattern Studio on Etsy. So if you are a Disney person and you want something Disney to stitch on, definitely check this shop out, because she has like, I feel like every, at least Disney princess movie kind of turned into a pattern. They're really fun. So I'm working on the Beauty and the Beast one, which is Belle, and I do not have much started on it. I basically have her dress, and I'm stitching this on a 14 count Aida, I believe, and the stitch count is 96 by 96. It is a circular pattern, and it's really fun. It's more of like a graphic, kind of pixelated Disney type of pattern, and I do only have the outline of her dress. This is like this is just an Amazon Aida. It's very crunchy, so it's not my favorite thing to stitch on, so that's really why I don't have that much done on it, but it's just what I had in my stash. It was a nice neutral to put it on. Oh, look at this needle minder. If you're a Disney Parks person, you're gonna love this. It says, if the mountains are calling, or it says, the mountains are calling and I must go. And it's literally Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain. It's so cute. I love it. So I did stop working on this for a bit because I ended up like not getting one of the DMCs that I needed, but also the Aida is just like not my favorite. But I need to pick this one back up because this pattern is just like so stinking cute. It has so many fun little motifs on it, and it's just a really fun Disney pattern. And if there's like multiple Disney princesses that you want to stitch, she has them in a bundle. I think you can get 3 at a time. I only purchased 1 for right now, but she does have like a lot of good bundles on her Etsy shop, so you should definitely check her out. That's Lovely Pattern Studio. And this is Belle. So cute. So now we're gonna move into my stitch alongs. I do have 3 stitch alongs. 2 I'm actively working on, and 1 I might possibly UFO. I know. Controversial. We'll get into it though. We'll get into it. So I'll show you the one that I am very much obsessed with, and this is the Fantastical Greenhouse Stitch Along by Tiny Modernist, who is one of my absolute favorite designers of all time. Easily. And this was my first stitch along that I joined. I believe it was a 6-part stitch along, and I am still completing part 3, I think. So I'm about almost halfway done. Almost. Let me hold it up. I'll just see what it looks like held up. Oh, this one is like kind of wrinkly, so I apologize. I've been working on this one for many months. So this is the Fantastical Greenhouse Stitch Along. This one is just so much fun. I love it. The first part of the stitch along was basically the center part with the unicorn. And again, it's so magical, which is why it's like called the Fantastical Greenhouse. Just everything you add to it really just makes it come alive and makes it even better to work on. So this was the first part. I believe we had like a month or 6 weeks or something to work on this. Each part comes out like every month. This was the next part, which really didn't take that much time at all. I was so excited to stitch this cutie little gnome. Look at his face. He's so cute. The back stitching just like makes everything pop even more. And now I'm working on part 3, which I believe is like here up. So I still have some like stars and moons to add. I'm adding a little bit of florals. I'm adding some of that like dimension and like asymmetrical construction of the greenhouse, and it is just so much fun. I love it. I did end up making a mistake in like one of the tiers of the greenhouses, so I did frog it, but I'm back in business, baby. I'm back in business. And I think I forget what I decided. I'd have to look at the pattern. I was completing it like each section, but I think now I'm just gonna like, since all the parts are out, I might just be like working directly across, at least for like the structure of the greenhouse, just to make it move a little bit quicker and so I can get this bad boy up. But is it not like the most beautiful thing? I love Tiny Modernist. She has such fun designs. And one of the designs that one of the motifs in this pattern that I'm most excited for is there's just like a beautiful green dragon that's hanging out on the outside of the greenhouse. And I might even want to put like a little bit of sparkly floss into him. Like Krynek or like the sparkly DMC. I don't know. I love it so much, and I'm so excited for this to be done. And this is a project that I'm going to be sad when it's done because I've put so much time into it, and I don't know. It's so much fun to work on. I'll be sad when it's over. I was really tempted to join her Halloween stitch along that she has. I think it's like actively started now. I think the Halloween one started on like July 1st or something, but I love Tiny Modernist. This one is just so much fun. Look at that unicorn. I could just show you close-ups of everything, and it is just so beautiful. This is a fun one. This is a really fun stitch along, and it really got me excited about stitch alongs. So as far as the Fantastical greenhouse, I'm doing everything called for. So this is on a 32 count Nessie by Picture This Plus, which is like a beautiful, it's hard to kind of tell in this lighting, but it's a beautiful mottled blue. It's an absolute perfect backdrop for this. And it's all DMC, and it's the final stitch count, like dimensions of this is 181 by 181. So it's perfect. So since I was working on that stitch along and I knew I enjoyed like the mystery aspect of it, I saw this one in the Just Cross Stitch 2025 magazine. And this is the Nature's Journey stitch along by Sprouting Lupine. Again, one of my favorite designers. All of her patterns are like super nature inspired, and I love them. And this seriously has to be one of the most beautiful stitch alongs I've ever seen. It's a 4-part stitch along with each part being each season. So right now, spring and summer are out. I wanted to get everything called for because it was pure perfection. So I'm doing this on the called for 28 count Into the Veil Lugana by Bestitch Me. So hand-dyed fabric, absolutely beautiful. I've never worked on a Lugana before. It is a little bit stiffer than linen, but it is less stiff than Aida, I would say. And the difference between like Lugana and linen is I believe Lugana is more of like an even weave type of a fiber. You're gonna have more of that like perfect symmetry, where linen is more like asymmetrical. It's gonna look more primitive, if that makes sense. So this is all of the progress that I have so far. So I have only, so I'm like folding this up. I've only been working on spring. I thought I would be like way more, what's the right word? Monogamous on this one, because I love the look of it. The whole pattern is just absolutely stunning. But for some reason, this darn branch, is this like focusing? This darn branch is just like, puts you in a rut. At least it puts me in a rut. I don't know. It's just like slows me down. I need to just like power through the branch and get myself going, because there's so many other fun little motifs. Like I love doing this little like butterfly or like moth situation. I actually stitched this when they were choosing a new pope, so I'm calling it my little pope moth or pope butterfly, whatever it is. And I completed these little cutie mushrooms, which were so much fun. Super excited to get to this little like bird's nest situation with little blue eggs. It's fun. It's just this branch takes so long. And I'm letting that hold me back. I'm letting it hold me back, and I gotta do it. But I love it. It's such a beautiful stitch along. I'm so excited to get to summer. I think summer is my favorite of all 4 parts because you can see what all 4 parts look like. It's just each one is released seasonally in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can actually gain access to the magazines through that subscription. So that's how I've been getting access to this. And yeah, I love it. I love Sprouting Lupine. This branch is just holding me back, but I don't know. It's just, it's really fun. I love it. I don't have the stitch count written down for this final pattern, but I'll write it down below so that you have it. And I highly recommend this one because this is going to be absolutely stunning when it's done. Because it's just stunning on paper, and when you stitch something up, everything just looks better on fabric, in my opinion. So that's Nature's Journey. She's been a journey, but she's beautiful. I just gotta work through that slog of a branch, man. I just gotta push through and work on it so I can get to summer, because I know once I get to summer, it's gonna be breezy for me because I love like every motif that's in that one. But let's go to my next stitch along that I'm definitely, unfortunately, not as into. And that is, you might gasp when I say this because I was so excited to start it, but that is the Extraordinary Bird Stitch Along by Lola Crow. I feel so bad saying this, and it's kind of controversial, I feel, because everyone is like very much into her patterns, and I'm very much into her patterns, but this one is just like not speaking to me as much. I don't know why. I don't know. I was definitely feeling like the FOMO that I've never done any of her stitch alongs before, and I was very excited to be a part of it, but I knew in my gut that the theme wasn't as much something I'd be going for. So I don't know. That's my biggest advice to you. Don't let the FOMO get to you. If the theme isn't singing to you, maybe don't commit to it, because this is a big stitch along. It's big. So this is the Extraordinary Bird Stitch Along, and I am doing this. I'm not doing this on the called for. Well, actually, I'll just show you what I have done because it's pretty pitiful. It's pretty pitiful. I'm pretty sad about it, but I'm almost glad I didn't do as much. I still only have the frame, part of the frame. You would have, if you watched any of my videos in the past, you'll know I did this in like one of my vlogs, and I literally haven't worked on it since. So this was like within the first 2 weeks that it's come out. And I haven't worked on it much. I love the colors. I love the vibe. It's just, I don't know, it's not hitting for me. I believe I'm doing this on a 36 count Blue Moon linen from Hand Dyed by Rolanda, who I love. You can find her fabrics on Etsy. And yeah, this pattern's not hitting. I loved the Deadly Aquarium, and I loved the like greenhouse one. And then this one is just, I don't know. I'm gonna wait till all of the parts of the stitch along are out so I can see like the final product and see if I like it more then, because I don't really want to put the time and effort and just like, I don't know, I'm not loving it. Don't hate me because I say that, but it's just not my thing, I don't think. But yeah, so this one I think I'm going to UFO. I think it's going to be an unfinished object, my first unfinished object. I'll probably pick it all out, which is unfortunate. It was kind of an expensive stitch along. I mean, I got the hand-dyed fabric for it. I got all the DMC, which this requires a lot of DMC, a lot. I think like over 40 colors. And then the pattern's kind of expensive because you have a lot of like weekly releases. You get a lot for your money's worth. But yeah, so this is my listen to you. Don't let FOMO get to you. Listen to your heart, stitch what you want to stitch. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. It is a beautiful pattern, just, I guess not really my cup of tea. But I love seeing everyone else stitch it, and maybe once I see the final product, it'll inspire me to do it. But in this point of time, I'm just gonna leave it in timeout and wait till it's complete and then make my final decision. So that's Extraordinary Birds by Lola Crow. That one makes me a little sad, but it's okay. It's okay, you live and you learn, and now I know to listen to my gut. But yeah, that's probably my least favorite project that I have currently in my WIP pile. And that's why I'm gonna UFO it, because why spend like all of the hours working on something that isn't bringing you like the most joy? That's not the point of this craft. The point of this craft is to work on things that bring you joy. This next one brings me joy though. And that is, I've been very much into, I'm dropping my patterns. I've been loving Fancy Ladies. This is my first Fancy Lady I have worked on, and it is my only one in my rotation right now. And this is Nora Corbett's Dewdrops. And she is just absolutely beautiful. And she really made me fall in love with working on Fancy Ladies because I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it, but I love them. I am so excited to work on all these like fun beads, and they call them treasures, I think, like the really big beads. They're just beautiful. I did purchase a lot of like water inspired ones since I live on the lake. I just thought that that would be so pretty hanging in my house. And this is the progress I have on her so far. Oh my gosh, I just love her. I think I have almost this full wing complete, if not the whole thing. Maybe a tiny little portion I still need to do, but I did like a little bit of the leaf on top. I'm starting to work like her skin, I believe her chest, and like one side of the bodice of her dress. And this is I'm not doing this on the called for. The called for was kind of like a boring, just raw linen type of color. It says it's a 32 count golden needle linen. And yes, it does like really put the focus on her, but I wanted something fun. I wanted something still like giving natural vibes, but added a little something something. So I went with a 32 count Velt Belfast linen. And I just think it's so perfect for this because it does have that like raw natural linen base, but it's beautifully modeled in that like dark mossy green. It's definitely reading like more green on camera, but it's just perfect. It's perfect for her. It's just stunning. And ever since I've been like into Mill Hills, and I know I really enjoy beading, it makes me so excited to add the beads onto her. She's just so beautiful and perfect. And her stitch count dimensions are 79 wide by 181 high. And she's just so much fun. Like when I start stitching her, I stitch on her for like a couple days because it's so much fun to just watch her take shape, and you like really focus on one color, and then when you look at her from a distance, you're like, wow, that one color really just made you like, really just like added some life. So I just really enjoy working on Fancy Ladies. So I'm very much excited to increase my like Nora Corbett and Mirabilia collection. I do know that the Nora Corbetts are a little bit more beginner friendly because they have less, you know, colors and confetti, which I heavily appreciate, but I know I will one day get into the Miras as well. But that's Dewdrops. She's so absolutely stunning, and now that it's warm, dare I say I want to start a mermaid. I think that would be really fun. So that is all of my, like, I guess, non-seasonal patterns I've got going on. I laid everything out on I have this like longer table. So now I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna lay out my couple spooky projects that I have going on. Those are more of my seasonal stitches. I just wanted those more like in a little grouping for you guys because I don't know, I love Halloween's like one of my favorite things, and these are some of my favorite patterns I've got going. So let me do a little organization and I'll come back. All right, so let's get into some of my absolute favorite projects that I have going on, and that's all of my spooky witchy stitches, and I believe I have 5. And I'm honestly shocked I don't have more, but these are like, some of these are very big and will definitely be multi-year projects. So they're gonna be heirloom pieces, definitely. But one of the first spooky stitches that I have, and one of the first ones that I started, was Silhowwitches Quaker by Teresa Kogut, which is an absolute just showstopper piece in my opinion. I believe this is the only Quaker that I've got going on. It is 40 count, which is definitely a little bit harder for me. It's not my favorite count to work on, and I definitely have a lot of mistakes in this, but how could I not do this? This is just like such like a primitive, witchy, quirky pattern. I'm just obsessed with it. So this is all my progress. Let me get my papers so that I can like read the details for you guys. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this is the progress I have. Oh, it's just so pretty. This is, I believe, one of my only monochromatic pieces. It's almost monochromatic. It's using this like beautifully variegated black. I believe it's a Weeks Dye Works color. I don't have like the information right in front of me, but it's basically just utilizing one variegated black and then little pops of green. It's just so special and wonderful, and I cannot wait to be done with this. This I'm stitching on, I believe it's all called for, it's a Newcastle linen in pumpkin by Fiber on a Whim. So it's just like this beautiful orangey pumpkin-y color. And like some spots are like more mottled than others, but it's very much a beautiful pumpkin color fabric, and it just really pops with this. I feel like this would also look very good on murky fabric as well. I don't think I've seen that yet, but I feel like it could have potential for looking really good on that fabric. But I just love the orange. I just think it screams Halloween, specifically like a nostalgic Halloween. I love this one. This one was my first 40 count project that I ever started, so there's a lot of learning in this. Like, I know this border on the owl has mistakes. I know there's just like a lot of mistakes. Definitely this was the biggest mistake, so I've kind of had to like reposition things accordingly, and that's probably why I don't have more progress done on this one, but it's really fun. I know I messed up this witch a bunch, had to frog her like 3-4 times, but she is so cute. Everything is just so much fun. I just love how every motif just has such a spooky little element, but like cutesy spooky, like very Halloween town, like cutie vampires, cutie ghosts. I love that it does incorporate words. Again, I love to stitch words. It's just really, really fun. I very much need to like get back into stitching this. I've been working on a lot of my spooky Halloween patterns this month. I feel like that's what I've been like mainly exclusively been stitching on the last like 2-ish weeks. And I don't know, right now I'm feeling very called to work on this. So maybe tonight I'll start adding a little bit more to this. But working on 40 count and doing Quakers, it's like no small feat. Because you can be working for like a long time and only feel like you've got a little bit done. But it's fun. I love it. It's such a unique Halloween pattern. It's primitive but nostalgic, and oof, I'm hitting myself in the face. And it's just a really fun little Halloween spooky touch. And like, we do have a lot of witchy things that hang up in my house all year. And I think I'd have to keep this up all year because it's just so much fun. And I love that orange fabric. It just really accentuates everything. I love it. So that's my Silhowwitches. Again, I don't have like a tremendous amount, but it might be almost a full page, like a square, a full square. I haven't picked this one up in a hot minute, so I honestly can't remember, but I might be breaking this one out. I might be breaking it out. I need to give that vampire some teeth because right now he's just a man in a cape. He needs a little bit of a spooky makeover. So cute. So that's Silhowwitches Quaker by Teresa Kogut. I love everything Teresa Kogut. She's an incredible designer. And this next one, again, is one of my absolute favorites. And this is Halloween Rules by Lizzie Kate. And this one is so fun. There's going to be a little bit of a glare. So this is like a long and skinny piece. I am stitching it fully like this, but you could stitch like each individual motif and kind of finish it the way you please. But I am doing it this way. And I love it. I love everything about it. And it comes with, I mean, I don't want to show you the pattern, but I believe each of these comes with like cute little buttons to add. They're like plain buttons, nothing like crazy, but they're fun little touches. I love it. So this is what I have so far. I've really only worked on the free border. I haven't even gotten to the motifs yet. It's so fun. It's so much fun. I have all these threads. I feel like this WIP Parade is a little bit of a mess. So if you want like something a little bit different, definitely check out my other Flosstube videos. But because I've never talked about like this many projects in like a sitting before. So it's definitely a new experience. But this is the free border I've been working on. So it says Halloween and I'm working on the rules section. And let's see, this one, I'm doing it on the called for 32 count chestnut. At least this is a called for in like these little like pamphlets that you get of the pattern. But I don't believe it's the called for on the actual like website. I could be wrong though. I remember seeing two different kinds of fabrics for this one, but it is 32 count chestnut. It's more of a raw linen. It's a little bit stiffer, but the weave is very easy to work with and I love it. The final stitch count for this would be 93 by 366 high. So she's big, but I think once I get this border done, doing these like individual little sections won't be difficult. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna literally fly by because like half of it's words. This one I did hold off from working on for a little bit because I did have a mess up in the W there. I had like the full tree stitched and one of the gravestones, and then I realized I messed up in the tree and my gravestone was too high and it wouldn't have met the grass. So I lost some steam because I really didn't want to frog it. There was no other way for me to like futz about it. So when I got the inspiration to pick it out, I picked it out and we're back in business, baby. We're back on our Halloween rules grind and it's just so much fun. I believe all of the threads are Weeks Dye Works, doing all the called for, and I love the look of Weeks. Like they're just such beautiful flosses. They're so beautifully variegated. This one's just been so much fun. And this is like a really fun needle minder. This is the Hitchhiking Ghosts from Haunted Mansion. This is gonna be just such a fun piece. This fabric is long, but it's gonna look amazing. I can't wait to have this done, and I will be professionally framing this when it's complete. That's one of my favorite spooky projects. I mean, I have so much love for each and every one of these. Now this next one, let's see. This next one is just like a total classic piece. So many people have worked on this. I almost feel like it's a rite of passage if you're a spooky Halloween stitcher. It's a rite of passage. And this is Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. And this is by Carriage House Samplings. So this is like the gigantic mock-up of it. But if you want to see it framed, looks like this. What drew me to this pattern is, of course, the center block with these two witches. But each block is so fun and unique. But this is a gigantic piece. I don't have the stitch count off the top of my head, but it's gigantic. This is going to be like easily a multi-year project. And I did do this on the called for, which I'm like kind of regretting. I wish I got a larger count, but I'm doing this on, I don't have it on the top of my head. I'm doing this on the 40 count fabric that is called for. I'll have it written down below, but you gotta be paying attention when you do this. So I think I've only worked on it like 3 times since I've purchased this pattern, and it is, look how teeny tiny. Like when you're doing that black border, like each of these squares, you gotta be paying attention. And I was getting like very confused with the counting of it. So the method that I've been doing is basically, I think like every 10, I put a little mark with my heat erasable pen. And that's how I've been kind of keeping track, just so it's a little bit easier for me. And now that I've gotten to the bottom part of the border, I have actually been working the design in the square. And the first square that I'm working on is this one, and it says, "We do lie beneath the grass." And I think like my method of movement that I'm going to be doing is kind of, because I think if I'm just working in one block, I'm going to get bored. So I could work on like another border and then start working my way down this way, or do this border and work this way. I think I'm going to jump around a little bit. I know some people like do strictly the borders first, but I know I will not be motivated to stitch on this if I do that. But yeah, this one's really fun. I wish I went for more of like a 36 count than a 40 count, but it's already just so gigantic as a 40 count that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the called for. But this is just absolutely, absolutely stunning. I think it truly is one of the most like beautiful, spooky, witchy patterns there is, and it is so unique. And I've never seen this stitched in person, but I can only imagine what it looks like. I don't have any like LNS shops or local needlework shops near me. Unfortunately, I only can buy cross-stitch stuff online, but I know a lot of stores do have this as a like model stitched up, and I would just like, I would love to see it in person, because this is just stunning in a picture. And it does have a NPI silk, like the called for I believe are NPI silks, but the actual model was stitched in DMC. So I was like, I'm gonna go with the DMC, because I'm not trying to like donate an arm and a leg in order to stitch this. So yeah, I went with the DMC, and it's stunning. I love it. So that is definitely like, this is a classic cross-stitch piece. So that's Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. Again, I only have like a tiny little itty bitty bit, but on 40 count, it's pretty good progress. So I just started like working on the ground. I'm getting up like the grassy knoll, and I just have one little piece of the spooky house. Minimal progress, but progress is still progress. Now these next two, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for. These are my newest starts, and I'm just so uber excited about them. And this is what really got me in like the spooky spirit this month. So I saw this pattern from the Carolina Stitchers, who I'm newly obsessed with. I just found their channel. I don't know how I just found it. And I found this designer through them because Joy was stitching on one of these spooky cottage patterns. I went to 123 Stitch and found one that was calling to me, and this is Seedy Pumpkin College by Seedy Pumpkin Cottage by Praiseworthy Stitches. And now I want every single one of these patterns because it is just so, it's perfection. So it says it's a jack-o'-lantern moon. And it's just like the most beautiful, like Victorian spooky house. I was between this one and like the Hocus Pocus one. I think it's like Esmeralda's magic school or something. But I ended up going with this one. And I just love it. I love it. When I saw Joy stitching on one of these, I immediately had to purchase it. I did not get the called for fabric because honestly, like I couldn't find it. So I did find one that was similar. And if you've seen any of these stitched, like I saw the size of Joy's and a couple of other people that were stitching these. And I believe like the called for is like a 32 count. And it makes this absolutely massive. And I was like, and I want it to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable to frame because I know I'm going to be framing this. I don't have much progress on this, but this is really fun. So this is a 36 count linen in Sleepy Hollow by hand dyed by Rolanda. I love her hand dyed fabrics. It's very similar to the called for. The called for definitely is, let me hold it up, like more of a gray, where this has more purple mottled undertones but still has that like gray base. But I love it. It just screams Halloween to me. Again, like my lighting isn't the greatest, so it's not showing it the greatest, but it's like a purpley mottled gray. It's beautiful and I think it's absolutely perfect. I am doing like a center left start, so I'm starting with the tree over here, if that makes sense. Usually I'm a top left start, but because my margins were a little bit different with this one and like the top left didn't truly start like in a top left spot, I went with like a center. It was easier to go with the center, if that made sense. So I have some of the tree and I worked one of the outlines of the pumpkin, and I'm just so excited about this one. This is like one of my favorite projects I've ever worked on ever. I think this is gonna be so cool up on a wall. I want every single one of these patterns. I just think they are so special and I'm truly gonna collect them all now. And something that's really unique about all these patterns is that they have a little collab with just another button company, and you use little buttons in the pattern. So there's like really cute little bats and gravestones and owls and just like all the fun little spooky things. Like there is just something so magical about this. And I actually saw, I was like going through old Just Cross Stitch magazines, and you can find, I forget like what issue it is, but the Sail at like Bubbling Cauldron, I think, pattern is actually in one of those magazines. So I'm really excited about that. And that was one of the ones I really wanted to stitch. So I love this. So yeah, I started right here. I got the outline of one of the pumpkins. Yeah, I got the I started right here because it's a little backwards. So yeah, I started here. I got the outlines of one of the little pumpkins. I love it so much. It is just absolutely beautiful, and I'm so excited. I'm holding it upside down. I'm so excited to keep working on this. It brings me so much joy, and now I need to fill my whole entire house with the Praiseworthy Stitches Halloween cottages. And last but not least, so this is my last like pattern, I guess you would say, excluding Mill Hills. I have 2 Mill Hills to show you, but this is the last like actual like pattern on linen I'm showing. And this I received as a birthday gift, and I recently kitted it up. And I saw this pattern in a, I believe it was like a shepherd's bush walkthrough video, but when I saw this up on the wall, I was like, immediate purchase, add to cart. And that's Witchy Washy. It's just so silly and cute, and I hope it's focusing so you can really see, but it's like all the clothes a little witch would be wearing up on a clothesline. And I need that dress. I would wear it every day, every single day. And again, this has buttons included in the pattern as well. Unfortunately, I have not purchased them yet, but you can kind of see there's like little crows, and I think like the pumpkin is a button and the cat is a button. So it's just like fun little touches to the pattern. And I am doing this on, let's see, a 36 count flax Belfast linen, and the stitch count is 213 by 100. So this is the progress I have on it so far. I've worked on this for maybe like 2 or 3 nights, and it's just so much fun. I love it. I've got like the whole top portion of the tree. I'm ready to work on like the witchy washy words and working my way down the clothesline. This one is like such a fast stitch. Like it maybe only has like 2 full hours in it or something, and I'm already to that hat. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's such a unique stitch, and when you look at it, you're like, that's hilarious. Especially if you're like a witchy person. You like witchy things. I just think it's really unique. And Raise the Roof has other ones for other seasons and holidays. Like she has a Santa Claus one that's like a clothesline, and she has like a beachy one. So I would definitely check Raise the Roof out if you're like into this style. But the witchy one, of course, just like totally stuck out to me. And when I got it as a gift, I was like, okay, perfect. Time to kit this puppy up and get working. But yeah, I'm using all the called for flosses, and it is just so perfect. I love it. So that was 15 whips. That was a lot. It's honestly hard to talk about that many in a row. I don't know how people have like 100 and have a voice after filming, or even have the words to describe each one, because it's difficult. But that's witchy washy. It's adorable. So that's all my spooky whips. That's all my whips that are like pattern on fabric. I do have 2 Mill Hills to show. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know, like the last couple weeks or months I've been in like my Mill Hill era. I've been really enjoying Mill Hill kits. And I do have like a spring, summer Mill Hill inspiration video if you want to check that out. And I do show like a couple of the Mill Hills I've been working on, just like in my general Flosstube videos. But I do have 2 actively going that I'm working on. I have 1 Buttons and Beads Mill Hill, which are the larger like 5x5 kits that you can purchase like an actual Mill Hill frame for, which makes the process super duper easy, and I love it. And I'm working on Rainbow Trout, which I'm doing this as a gift for my brother, so hopefully he's not watching, which he probably isn't. But yeah, I'm making this for him because he's like he's an avid fisherman, and I love this one because I love the colors of the trout. I just think it's going to be so much fun. And the little cute treasure button is a little dragonfly, which I love. And I don't have much done on this one. I basically have, I'll show you on here first, like the purple outline of the mountain and some of the clouds. So I'll show you. That's all I have done. I don't have that much. This is done on like a blue little perforated paper. I love it. I love stitching on perforated paper, which I didn't think I would, but it's actually pretty enjoyable. I am stitching this with only 2 strands. The called for is 3, I believe, but I just like stitching with 2 strands with perforated paper. I think it's just like an easier experience. But that is my Rainbow Trout so far. I don't know how long this will take me, probably a hot minute, but I'll get this to him eventually. And I did organize. The hardest part of the Mill Hill kits, I think, is like organizing your threads and just getting really acquainted with your materials. So I did listen to some of comments from people who watch my videos, and I got myself slightly organized, and I put all my threads on little floss holders, and it's been making my life a lot easier. I highly recommend it. I mean, usually I'm kind of like a bit of a thread gremlin, as they would say, where everything's just like mushed up in a ball and not organized. I'm more of a type B person that way, but with my Mill Hill kits, I've been like really trying to be a little bit more organized to make my life easier. And last but not least, number 17, I'm working on Mill Hill UFO. We're ending it on a little bit of a space themed thing. So this I'm specifically stitching for my dad as a gift because he loves Ancient Aliens. I meant to give this to him for Father's Day, but I ended up not finishing it in time, which is totally okay. He'll just get it when it's done. This is, I believe it's from 2025. It was one of the new Autumn Harvest releases, which there was quite a few new ones. Like there's a little otter, there's a turkey, some Venus flytraps, some Halloween spooky ones, but I'm working on UFO, which is really exciting. And this is one of the smaller little ornamental ones. I'm gonna make this specifically as like a little car mirror dangly bit. Just something to hang off his car mirror. And this is what I have done so far. I'm almost there. I'm almost to the beading. I just have some more of like the fill-in, like this like blue and gray bits. I have to do this side, and then it's just like the little beam. And then we're to the beading. So we're almost done with that one. I just really haven't like been inspired to sit and work on my Mill Hills because I've been in such like a spooky little witchy mood. But yeah, that is it. That is all of my whips that I've got going on. That was actually much harder to film than I thought it was going to be. But it also was really fun because I could see how much progress I have done on everything. I know I didn't have like specific stats. Some people come a little bit more prepared in that aspect, but I don't really do like as much PDF stitching. I don't use like markup or pattern keeper or any of that, at least not yet. So I don't have like specific statistics on how much I have done and like percentages, but that's it. 17 whips, 15 of those being like non-kits and 2 of those being Mill Hills, and I love them. I'm hoping to get a couple finishes by the end of the year on them, especially on some of my smaller ones, but I definitely don't have as many smaller patterns going. I'm definitely drawn more to the larger ones, but you know, I'm just working my way through each day. It's better to have progress than nothing. I'm definitely more of I would say a process stitcher than like a finisher. I really only have like a couple cross stitch finishes since I've started, maybe like 3 in the last year or so, and only like 1 true fully finished. So I'm definitely more in it for the process, but I'm like waiting for that finish patiently, you know. That's all of my whips that I have started really in the last like 6 to 8 months. That's my whole progress pile. It's really funny going from like I was a monogamous stitcher to then I discovered Flosstube and then started my own little channel, and now I have like almost 20 things going. But I will, since these are like one of my favorite videos to watch, I will link all of the WIP parades that I have watched so far down below, so go check them out. All of the channels that I list, I absolutely love. They're incredible. They just give me so much inspiration and make my wish list get so long and definitely enable me a lot. And, you know, that's like one of the best things about Flosstube is like discovering new patterns that you just want to get your hands on immediately. I want to see more like in the moment, real time, little things that I've been getting up to and crafting on. Go check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is thistleandthread with 2 Ds. I've been really enjoying posting on Instagram. It's been really fun. Of course, it's something I'm trying to actively post more on, but you know, sometimes life gets busy. But I will like try to update my stories as much as I remember to. And if you want to email me, you can email me at thistleandthreadyt@gmail.com. And I would love to see what you're working on. If you want to like send me an email with a picture of it, or if you even want to like Instagram DM me it, I would love to see it. And let me know down below in the comments what your favorite whip parade that you've watched so far is. I would love to find more channels so that I can follow and be along their crafting journey. So thank you guys so much. I know this was a long one, so thank you for being here with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.